Sir, we are live now, sir, and we will start the session. A warm, happy evening to all the participants who are joined with us to gain the knowledge. I am Nirmal Kumar Jain, a law student and the founder of Law Gardener. On behalf of Law Gardener and team, I welcome Mr. Anuj Kumar, who have come here and gave their time from their busy schedule to share the knowledge on relevance of forensic evidence in criminal investigation and court. I'd also like to welcome all the participants, which include law students, lawyers, and common man. Majority of them are from the science background, forensic experts. And now, before starting the session, I request Miss Payal Jain to please introduce the guest.
Hello, so it's an immense pleasure that I've got an opportunity to introduce you. So let everyone know what you are. So, like I would start, Mr. Anuj Kumar is the founder of Legal Desire Media in 2013, having over experience of 7 years in legal publishing and legal marketing, closely working with over 50 plus global law firms in various practices for comprehensive business development solutions, empowering small law firms to successfully build their brands, connect with the legal consumers to grow their practice. Sir has established Department of Forensics and Criminal Investigation to pave a roadmap for next generation criminal investigation and move for importance of mandatory inclusion of forensic in legal academic curriculum for PG level courses of law in criminal law in order to have a disposal and fair criminal justice and investigation system, appreciated by international and national forensics investigative authorities for the initiative. Sir is also the founder and editor in chief at Fashion Law Journal, exploring the legal landscape of the fashion industry to create possibilities and opportunities for legal industries to aid the fashion industry and its stakeholders. Sir has been assisting fashion brands in compliances required for fashion industry, the issues of licensing, merchandising, and IP, labor and human rights of stakeholders. Additionally, Sir is also associated with Niti Aayog, Government of India as mentor, Atal Innovation Mission, an initiative to create and promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship across the length and breadth of the country, member of editorial board of international and national journals. Sir is also the author of book Guide to Forensics and Indian Law. All of you, please go to the book. It's actually Sir was just explaining me how amazing this book is. So it is almost going to release on Amazon, Kindle, and everywhere. So please go and have a check on the book. We welcome you, sir, and thank you so much for your presence.
Thank you, Payal, for the introduction, and thank you, Nirmal, and thank you, Law Gardner, for giving me an opportunity to talk about my interested areas of law and which needs a proper awareness. So we have only heard about forensic in movies, in for example, in Mission Impossible and other things, and Sherlock Holmes. But what is exactly forensic and how it is applicable to our legal courts, and what we can see, we have our evidence also. So whether our evidences are reliable or relevant in court of law. So what is the use of forensic science for legal professionals, for judicial officers, and for forensic experts? So in this session, we will cover about all this thing about the importance of forensic science and what is forensic science, what type of evidences we have, and then also we have some case studies also, and then the challenges in the field of forensic sciences and what our Indian law says about forensic science. So if I describe you about what is forensic science in simple language, so it is the application of science uh, for investigation. So there will be various disciplines of science, for example, chemistry, physics, and we can say about physics for explosive, for ballistic division, chemistry for the identification of explosive and blood patterns and other things. So you can see it is a combination of so many sciences, and we are using the discipline of various sciences for the application of forensic in criminal investigation. As you know, as the generation is also progressing with the modernization of technologies, similarly criminals are using modern way to commit crimes. So we need a modern policing also and modern criminal investigation. And forensic is something that can help us to detect such crime and to, we can say, to find such culprits, and we can put them behind bars. So why forensic is important for lawyer and for judicial officer? So if we talk about lawyer and judicial officer, so we have a faith in our forensic bodies. For example, CBI. Whenever something is, we can say, whenever there is a question or an investigation, So generally, we have seen various media reports and various movement that they are asking, the victims are asking for CBI investigation or maybe investigation under from a forensic body, from a forensic science lab. Why? Because people have faith in forensic. Because forensic is a fact-based investigation and not about, doesn't talk only about the oral evidence but also about the documentary evidence and the physical evidence. So that is why we have an importance of forensic science. And when you see the reports of forensic science lab, and when you there are reports of CBI lab, so these are final reports because uh, our lawyers, the opposite sides of lawyer, even the criminal side of lawyer, so they don't have much idea about the forensic science. So that is why like you need to have a proper and sound knowledge of forensic science if you are a criminal lawyer, so that you can question those reports. Might be possible they must have something facts in that, or might be possible that reports that can come out with with a political intention or any something. Similarly, even our judicial officer, so they don't have that much understanding about the forensic. And so they should also look, although they have a judicial training, like we have judicial training research institute, and they undergo such forensic training, but in very minimum way. Like they have a minimal training, like for a week time. So it is very important for the judicial officer also, because they are the one ultimately they have to deliver the judgment. So it is very important for them to like understand the medical terminology, what is there in the postmortem report, what is there in the FSL report, the forensic science lab report, and also what is there in the medical legal report. So that is prepared by the doctor. So if we talk about our Indian law, so like we have only 3 to 4 sections. Like we have some sections in IPC which talk about the punishment. We have Indian Evidence Act. We have Section 45 of Indian Evidence Act, which talk about our like applicability of forensic, and that is the sole we can say single section which forms the basis of forensics in India. So because it talks about the applicability of the expert evidence, and you can take the advantages of the experts if you have something, so that they can give their opinion. Similarly, we have CRPC also. They have defined the various level of officers, experts, Directorate of Forensic Sciences. We have, so if we talk about the structure of forensic science lab in India, so like we have a DFS at the top level, so that is under the Ministry of Home Affairs, so Directorate of Forensic Sciences. And then it has so many like CFS, Central Forensic Science Lab also. Even CBI also has a Central Forensic Science Lab in Delhi. So like recently we have heard about the case of Allahabad Pragyaj, and even the CBI forensic team is there in investigating crime. We have seen in the Sushant Singh Rajput case, and so many cases are there, high profile cases. We have seen about the importance of forensic science labs also. There were cases like Andy Tiwari case in which DNA helped in determining the kinship also, and the, like who is the real son and like father. So that is why like even like it is not only for the crime detection; it is also for the identification of parental. So if we talk about like CFSL, I have told you like there is a DFS at the top level, and then we have CFSL, CBI, then we have State Forensic Science Lab. So in a state forensic science labs comes under the Home Ministry of that state. Then we have at regional level regional forensic science lab, and then we have also now the concept of mobile forensic science lab. So then right now, like if you see, like it is good to know that our government of India is taking a good step in the direction of recognizing the importance of forensic science. So like earlier we have State Forensic Science University in Gujarat, so that is Gujarat Forensic Science University. Now it is being converted into a National Forensic Science University, and now it has also campuses in Delhi and other cities also. Similarly, on the same lines, like when union budget was announced last year, so it was a like they have given importance to like forensic also, and also use of AI also, artificial intelligence. So National Forensic Science University was set up by an FSU bill, and then there was RRU bill, Rashtra Shakti University. So that is also a national importance university for forensic sciences. Similarly, other state have also come up with their state forensic science university, state police university. So you can see now we are started recognizing the use of forensic for criminal investigation. So similarly, there are some also schemes like we have heard about the Nirbhaya case. So there was a Nirbhaya budget is also there, so to upgrade our like forensic science lab in India. So there are evidences in forensic science. So there are like evidences in the form of physical evidence, in the form of chemical evidence, in the form of digital evidence. So we have to talk about the relevancy of such evidence, but firstly we have to talk about what are the division in forensic science lab, and what like how they determine the like investigation. For example, firstly, important division is called ballistic division. Ballistic division only deals about the we can say types of arms used, weapon used, about velocity of a bullet, and about like which type of bullet was used, and pellets, propellant. So such type of things comes into ballistic division. It mainly comprises of physical like physics knowledge, and we have then biology division for DNA, for serology, and we have then chemistry division for any fluid is there, like toxic substance is there, toxicology division is there. Then we have drugs and narcotic division. We have then cyber division because we are now in age of technology. So now cyber frauds are there. So now we have cyber division also. Then photography division is there. So their ultimate work is to like when we have a crime scene this structure. So they own a crime scene and they to take the photograph of that crime scene to because it is also necessary and mandatory also during the like crime scene reconstruction. So it is mandatory by the like our CVSL guidelines that it should be videographed and photographed also. So these are some divisions, and we have also query division. So query division means question document division, which only talk about our document. For example, forgery by like duplicate signature or duplicate documents, or maybe any fabrication of any document signature, initials. So that is covered under the question document division. So there are some divisions, and so then we have like we can say evidences like biological evidences. For example, blood, saliva, vaginal fluids, and then semen, hair, skin cells. So, what is the evidentiary value of them? So, evidentiary value, if we talk about the blood, saliva, and all this, so they determine the biological presence of some of a human remains. Specific identification, like personal identification, like by DNA, you can then determine whether it was like human, and then you can match the DNA. Similarly, like your firearms and bullets, you can see the bodies, you can see the entry and exit of that bullets, and then you can match the bullet side also, and then you can see the we can say pellet also, and then you can determine by seeing only the size of that incision wound that what type of arms may be used, what type of knife may be used, whether it was sharp or we can knife or something. So like by determining even the body, you can see so many things. You can also like by just checking out if you came across any dead body in the crime scene, you can actually determine so many things. Even from a skull of a body, you can determine the age, gender, so many things. And so that is why it is important to have a forensic professionals over there. And there are so many various stages when we do a crime scene. So firstly, our crime scene team, so like CFSL team or forensic science lab team, so they visit a crime scene and they arrive at a scene of crime. The second step they do is that protection of the crime scene. So you might have seen like that there are some ribbons called don't enter the crime scene. So like they have to protect the crime scene so that there is no involvement of an outsider, and also might be possible if you see there are some body fluids over there, like in case of maybe blood or maybe any other chemical is there, so that other particle doesn't mix with that, and so that they can do a fair investigation. Then they have to search the location of physical evidence. For example, if they found any dead body and that might be possible that the dead body was shot by any bullet, so they will search for their radius, like about like 2 to 3 kilometer of radius or maybe 1 kilometer of radius, for searching the parts of that bullets, for searching for the pellets of bullet or maybe that gun also. So like they have to search for the location, they have to search the nearby location about tracing some evidences like physical evidence. Whatever fluid you are seeing, so that will be like chemical evidence, and whatever arms or weapon that you are using, you are finding there are called physical evidence. And then they will then collect and package all those evidences over there, and then they will do a documentation. They have to write a note, like they have to prepare a preliminary documentation about, they will mention about all this thing in bullet points, what are the evidence over there, what are our timing of crime, and like possible factors. So like they will give us their initial report over there, and and then they will deliver all the evidences and whatever the collected material to the CFSL laboratory for further examination. So then they are investing in getting officers appointed. So whenever there is a team is sent to a crime scene, so they appoint an investigating team in which there is a mandatory crime scene manager is there, like topmost forensic science officer. Like if you talk about CFSL, then there will be a civil officers will be there that will accompany that civil that CFSL team will be there, and they will note down so many things. Like for example, when was the crime was reported, what is the location of crime, Then what is the type of crime, who is the person who is requested for the crimes investigation, whether the state government or any union government, and who are the officer investigator, like prior to them, like what, like whosoever was there, like for example any police officers were doing the investigation prior to that, who are the witnesses, and then they will collect all the physical evidences over the crime scene, and they will do also the videography and photography, and then they will prepare their report. So this is about the we can say process of a crime scene investigation and a duty of an investigating officer. Now we have heard about a lot of thing about DNA. Why we only talk about DNA and like as compared to that thing? Because DNA is preferred as a conclusive proof. Why? Because it is fact-based evidence. Then because and DNA can, we have a saying called DNA doesn't tell any lie. So DNA can remain stable for years. So that is why, and then it is very we can say we can trace the evidences, we can match the DNA. So like there are so many cases in which even the court has recognized the use of applicability of DNA. We have also a DNA applicability bill pending in the parliament also. So we are hoping to that it is also being cleared in next coming sessions, so that it will help, like it will have a detailed guideline for DNA collection, and we have a DNA data bank in country, so that we can have a data bank of DNA like for criminals and other persons, so that they can detect for multiple offenders. So that will be that it will help them. Then we have heard about the expert opinions are also there. Like if we talk about, if we see our CRPC section 293, so it provide a list of for officers, government scientific experts, which are any chemical examiner or any ballistic division officer, any chief controller of we can say explosive. We have Department of Fingerprint Bureau also. We have then any person from CFSL, any person from a state forensic science lab. So there is a list. If you read about the section 293 of CRPC, so these are the person whose opinion are admissible in court of law directly. Apart from that, if any other expert is giving their opinion, so it has to be supplied with a conclusive proof, with the fact. For example, any doctors or maybe any other person, because there are private forensic science lab also. So if they are giving any opinion, so that is not directly admissible in court of law. Like they have to supply with a factual, we can say, evidence, and then it is then again at the discretion of court of law. But these are the person are mentioned in the section 293. So their like opinions are admissible in court of law. Then we have a like medical opinion is there. So if you see if you came across any road accident are there, so many accidents are there, and whenever we visit any hospital, so they prepare a preliminary MLR report, medical legal report, right? So in which like we have to prepare a complete report, and they have to mention about like a physical condition of person, about age of that person, cause of death of the person, or cause of injury, so nature and effect of that injury or maybe accident, time, and other conditions there. Similarly, when we have cases of toxicology, like if someone has taken any poison, so they have to create a proper report about toxicology MLR report, like in what quantity they have taken the poison, who gave him poison, or like from which place he or she have bought that poison, or like quantity and the way the method of ingestion. So such things are there in such reports, so that it can help the court of law also, and then also for the further investigation. Now when there is a conflict between a medical evidence of so many persons, or like might be there possibility that there will be a witness opinion also, witness statement also, and there will be a medical opinion. So then if there is something in a contradiction between such opinion, then primacy is given to as a medical evidence. Because if they have a fact based like medicine, so like if they are giving the fact and with the medical evidence, then primacy will be given to a medical evidence, because it is a science based, we can say, statement. And when where there is an opinion of one medical witness is contradicted by another person or maybe another expert, so we can say like the person who have examined the patient or maybe any diseased person firstly, so they will be given preference. So it was held in the like case also. So like and if they have any direct evidence, so then primacy will be given to the then statement with the direct evidence. Now, in forensic, because we are taking so much thing from a person body without their prior permission or consent, so we have like a debate or question is there. Like, if you see, if we read about our Article 20 sub clause 3 of Indian Constitution, so it bars us like no person shall can be accused of any crime, can be compelled to be a witness against himself, right? So, how like DNA and the other things are applicable in court of law, so whether they are like constitutional or not. So like there were so many cases in which it was held that DNA can be taken, and there was a landmark case called State of Bombay versus Kalikatu, in which it was held that any compelling person, like a person can be compelled for giving any forensic evidence like fingerprint, blood, hair, semen, and it does not violate the section Article 20 subclause 3. The same is even mentioned in Section 73 of Indian Evidence Act, that yeah, there can be a forensic expert, like you can say any expert opinion will be there, and you can take the fingerprint. So it won't violate your Article 20 subclause 3. And then there was a debate about also narco analysis was there. So earlier, like so many cases were there, like who have already supported the narco analysis, but there was a landmark judgment, like Selvi versus Selvi in Supreme Court, and then it was held that it is unconstitutional because we are like for brain mapping for narco analysis, we have to give up fluid to them. We have to inject a chemical composition to them, so which may be harmful to them, and the person is not in sound mind. So that is why the Supreme Court in their like judgment, so they have held that narco analysis unconstitutional. But still, there are lots of debate about the use of narco analysis. So many state governments, so many like other type of bodies, so they also direct still about the narco analysis, but then it is again at the they have to take a prior consent of even the victim and the accused also if they are going for a like brain mapping or narco analysis. And then again ultimately it is a court of law which have a discretion for like whether it is admissible or not. So like Salvi and another versus state of Karnataka was a landmark judgment, so which held like narco analysis unconstitutional. Then we have section 53 of CRPC, which provides that a person accused may be subjected to medical examination. For example, in case of rape victims, like there can be a mandatory like medical examination with her, like after taking her consent, so that we can find the victim, and within 24 hours to 48 hours, like it should be like she should be there, like with the doctor, so that necessary evidence can be collected, like semen and other vaginal fluids can be there. So it will help in like finding the culprit. So this is about our evidence and relevancy. And then there are so many things that so we know that we have science now, and we have forensic science labs are coming up. So it is important to know that science alone cannot solve these like crimes. So there should be expert over there, and we need some technical support also. So with science we need forensic expert, we also need criminal lawyers, we also need judicial officers who can interpret those things and about those examinations. So it is very important, as well as a forensic expert, to have a sound knowledge of science. It is also important that the criminal lawyers who want to defend their client, they should also have a sound knowledge about the forensic science, so that they can ultimately save their client if they can see any we can say any misleading report is there from any state forensic science lab or even CBI, so at least they can question them because they have a prior knowledge of forensic sciences. Now what happens, like whatever is coming from CBI, whatever is coming from any state forensic science lab, it is final because neither the like your opponent party, like the criminal lawyer, doesn't have any sound knowledge about forensic science, even the judicial officers, so they might not have that much amount of detailed knowledge, that because scientific terms are mentioned over there. So it is very important for both the things, like for lawyers or for both the person, lawyers also, and judicial officers to have a sound knowledge of forensic science. And for all those students who want to like explore the field of criminal law, like in India, like it is very sad to state that we have a LLM in criminology, LLM in criminal behavior, but we don't have any LLM in criminal investigations. Like we don't have any such forensic science with law, like any postgraduate course. So we need such courses in India also, so that if someone is willing to become a good criminal lawyer, so then they need to have a sound knowledge about like forensic science also, and it can help them like in further criminal investigation. So now, like NFSU, National Forensic Science University, they have started a institute of law also. Like it will be, I think, officially announced tomorrow by our law minister. So it is good that they are coming up with law courses now, and might be the possibility that there will be LLM in like forensic sciences, and then there will be possibility of PhD in law also with criminal law. So it is very good for like us, like in India, we have now started recognizing use of forensic sciences. When earlier we started working in this field, like 4 years back, we have started established a department of forensic science. Then there were no such courses in India, like then we don't have such like National Forensic Science University. But now we have lots of things to do. Like if you have so many resources over there, you have so many publications, so you can take advantage of such things. So if you are going ahead in if you want to make a career in forensic science, you can go for it. And not only about as a criminal lawyer, but you can also assist, you can also work as a forensic auditor, you can go for auditing firm like a accounting firm. So there are so many scopes, like forensic accounting is there, in which you do the document examination like about financial report. Then there is cyber forensic is there, digital forensic is there, and then there are other scopes also. So you can assist them. Even like we have our forensic science students, so like they have a difficulty to find job, because for like you as a lawyer, because you don't have any like we can say difficulty for like finding a job, because when you are enrolled in a bar, you are yourself a lawyer and you can practice in a court of law. But think about the law, a forensic student, they don't have such thing that they are giving an exam of a forensic professional and then they can do independent exam like forensic examination. So like they are dependent on forensic science lab to announce the vacancies. So there are very limited vacancies in state forensic science lab and at the CFSL lab. So similarly, what they can do, like they can assist lawyers, like they can assist the criminal lawyer or any law firm who is practicing in field of criminal law. So you can also like go with like we can say forensic and law go hand in hand, because without law, forensic is like you can't teach the like judgment of it, because ultimately you have to come into court of law for application of science. And to find criminal, you need to apply the use of forensic science for we can say for a next generation criminal investigation system. So that is why we have to work together as a forensic science professional and as a law professional. And then we need a lot of awareness about forensic in law at our like even the graduate level also, because when we read about IPC, when we read about Evidence Act, when we read about CRPC, these section, so our teachers, our law teachers, so like even like it is not like we can say their fault. So they also themselves haven't read about forensic sciences. But now when we are talking about forensic sciences in India, so it is now like forensic should be included in the curriculum at the graduate level also. For like you at least we can say 4 to 5 classes should be there of like giving a general introduction about forensic sciences and about the relevancy of such evidences over there. And then judicial training, because we have a judicial training mandatory for our judges, new judges. But then again it is very minimum, like to only some limited evidences also there. And now we have cyber frauds are going there, we have other type of frauds over there, we have other types of we can say terrorist attacks are over there. So it is very important for judicial training also, that should be upgraded now as per our 21st century. And then like we can say our bar council of various state, where at like even the bar council of India and the bar council of other states, so they also have to organize such or conferences or such a training for our criminal lawyers, so that they are they have a much idea about forensic sciences. So this is about like an introduction, can say an overview about the relevance of forensic sciences. So if anyone has any questions, you can ask.
Yes, sir. We have a list of questions from the participants we collected during the registration itself, and we will deal with the later on. So we will move to the first question. So basically, the first question is: does forensic science is just limited to criminal law, or it is applicable in the civil law or any other domain of the law?
Yes, it is not limited to only criminal law, because now we have forensic accounting. So like there is a like you have we have like suffered a lot of like economic decline in country. Like for example, Nirav Modi scam and other scams over there, like Vijay Mallya scam. So if we had applied forensic accounting, like we have like include our banking system, there was so like forensic accounting applicable to them. So we should have like we can say prevented such a scams in India. So it is not only about the criminal law. So like there are other things, like I've already told about, like even you can determine the parental load, like in the case of daughter, son, and mother. So like we have seen the Andy Tiwari cases. So not only applicable to only criminal cases. So there are other cases also.
So it's basically have a large area of not just limited to criminal.
like like law has a so many practice area, even forensic has so many practice areas, like ballistic division for arms and weapons. Even we have we can say forensic diving, something that is happening under the water. So there are some new fields, like we have wildlife forensic, which only talks about the crime relating to the like wildlife and other animals. So there are so many things. So forensic is also a broad area.
We'll move to the next question. So, what is the relevance of forensic odontology in investigation?
Forensic odontology will help you to determine even the age and even the gender of a person. Like if you see, if you found something uh, like any dead body over there, or like you have that odontology evidences over there. So like you can recognize about the age of that person. You can also recognize about the gender. So like it will give you a structure.
Yes, sir. So, sir, what is the role of authenticity of the forensic evidences in the courts?
So yes, like forensic evidence are reliable because they are fact-based evidences. So they are coming from science knowledge, right? So like if there is a something called oral evidence and then we have a forensic evidence. So always forensic evidence will be given priority because it is coming from science. It is a fact-based evidence. So it will be given primacy. But in case of digital evidence, so they are not preferred as a primary evidence. They will be treated as a secondary evidence, right? In case of, for example, screenshot, in case of any digital report, so that will be considered as a secondary evidence. But if we are seeing like blood semen samples and collected from the crime scene, so they will be a conclusive proof, like the court have held that DNA is a conclusive proof also.
Sir, whether there will be any point percentage of on those evidence that they may be like false or some chemical errors or something else.
It depends like about our like we can say, firstly whenever there is a criminal investigation, they like the first team that reaches that, it is a police team. So we have a problem in India that like I was telling you about the importance of forensic science for lawyers and judges, but it is very important for the police officers also to have a sound knowledge about evidence collection, because they were the first person who tampers the evidences, because they reach the crime scenes and then they touch the like weapons, might be a gun, with their bare hand, and then ultimately when then they get to know that now they have their fingerprint on that gun, so ultimately they destroy that evidence because of fear that they will also get caught. So that is why like we have a problem in India, like we are not training our police personnel also for a proper evidence collection thing, and that is why so many evidences are missing from crime scenes, because crime scene teams reaches after like when there is a, we can say, an uproar from a public, there is a public movement or any outrage from any public, or maybe direction of court of law, then crime scene teams reaches there. Ultimately, firstly, there is a police team over there which is examining the crime scene. So evidences are tempered over there. So that's why we see like we have so many faults, and then we have to.
In the case of like wife of the I'm not getting the name. There was something like in the Delhi only, and there were they made they check with the from the foreign countries also like who made the evidence is proper whether it is correct or not. So basically, we have some chances of like it may be tampered or something else like that. It may be
Yes,
not
yes,
good proof.
yes, correct.
Next question, sir. Sir, does forensic science have any role in differentiating culpable homicide and the murders?
Yes, obviously, like we can determine about the culpable homicide or murder. For example, like uh, take example of the recent case about uh, what we have seen in Pragya Raj. So if we see about the normal crime scene, so it is a case of suicide. If we see about like right now as per the media reports, but that is a media trial, not forensic trial. So now the forensic team has reached over there, so they will collect that evidence, and now they will term it whether it was a murder or whether it was a homicide. Similarly, in the culpable homicide and murder, so like if there is a, we can say, we have an exemption like in heat of like movement, and then if you have fired something in self defense, so by applying the field of ballast division, so you can see about the changes about the physics, like the velocity of bullets and distance of the bullets and the anti and exit of the bullet. So like you can term it as a culpable homicide and murder. So forensic is giving you answer about the differentiation between culpable homicide and murder.
Yes, sir. So it will also give the differentiation of like suicide, murder, and everything upon the upon the so we'll move to the next question. Sir, many students have a question like, is there any certificate course for the forensics after graduating from LLB or some any other course?
See, forensic science, like there are so many companies that are coming up with forensic science courses, but so that only talks about the scientific knowledge. But For law student, like firstly, you should have some knowledge about the sections of your CRPC Evidence Act, which talks about the forensic science, and then you try to do some practical thing, like for example try to visit a police station and you can ask for like see about the cases over there in terms of like we have a like they have case diaries, and try to visit a like hospital and see about the medical legal report over there. So try to understand the formats and sample. So there are certificate courses also, like you can like we have now like RRU, Rashtriya Raksha Shakti University. So they also run like the certificate courses. So though there are so private organizations there, but you can go for like our national importance university that are recognized by MHA. So there is also NICFS Academy, and which is now become a part of NFSC only. So that is governed by MHA. So they have the certificate courses in New Delhi. So you can enroll for their courses for certificate program. So they have so many courses in different field for law and forensic also. So you can opt for that field. You can also have a diploma courses. For example, Nalsar is also doing a PG diploma in law and forensic. So you can go for such courses.
Sir, what is the career opportunities for LLB graduate in the forensic science, sir? Is there any definite career opportunities?
Yes, a lot of career is there. Like for example, you can join a law firm who are specializing in criminal litigation only, because you can help them. Because whenever criminal lawyer, a good criminal lawyer and a good criminal law firm will encounter so many like cases which involves the use of forensic science. Like for example, post-mortem reports. For example, report of state forensic science, and they have to cross-examine that. Like they have to then defend their client. So if you have a sound knowledge about forensic science with your law, so it will be added to your CV, and you can help your client, that law firm in like preparing argument for such thing, because you have a now knowledge of the scientific thing. Similarly, you can join some companies. For example, there are companies called Deloitte, ENY are there. So they are hiring for law graduate which have a forensic science knowledge. So like forensic auditors are there. So many even cyber lawyers are there. So like you have so many areas, and if you are having a sound knowledge about forensic science, so you can make your career in it. Even you can work as a medical legal expert too.
So basically, if we have a special course in forensic science, it will benefit at large in every field in
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah, because it is application of so many sciences.
Personal. So a participant had asked, how did you develop the interest in the forensic science? In the like many people doesn't go, many people go into the corporate or just in the criminal, but not in depth like a forensic science. So they wanted to know how did you develop interest in the forensic?
Forensic uh, like is as interesting as criminal law. Like whenever you see like IPC evidence and CRPC, might be possible you don't have like you feel CPC as boring subject, but when you open the chapters of IPC, when you read about punishment, when you read about such sections, so automatically you have an interest about criminal law. But due to career scope, but due to we can say, or either we can say a revenue in corporate field, so like the students are going for a corporate field, because for a first generation lawyer it is very difficult to make career as a criminal lawyer. But there is an ample scope in criminal law. Whenever you find something, like whenever you apply, because science is itself interesting, and when you are applying to interesting field together, criminal law and then scientific law, and when you go for a crime scene, and when you have like it means like when you have knowledge about forensic science means you have something we can you have some energy or you have some power in your hand, so that you can save your client with a scientific knowledge, like that can't be questioned in court of law also. Being a criminal, being a corporate lawyer, you have only evidence, you have only documentary thing, or like you can only give an oral examination. But being a criminal lawyer with a forensic science knowledge, you have a scientific evidence which you are aware that can't be questioned in any court of law, because that is scientific, right? So this is how this is something, and this is a need of our also. There are so many criminal cases there. If we apply forensic science efficiently in India, so we will see lots of like we won't have any such tendency of cases, because we don't have such infrastructures in our forensic science lab, because they have lot of burden. Like if we see any of the high profile cases that is being given to only CFL, CBI, we already have state forensic science lab. But why? Because they don't have that much infrastructure, right? So that is why like they have to transfer all the cases to CBI, when we already have CFSL, State Forensic Science Lab in state, at regional level also. So they don't have much cases It is the CBI, it is the CFSs that are all bundled with such cases. So like we need to also look for such thing, and like they need to also expand, like upgrade regional forensic science lab. And also now there is a career scope, like for example government of Punjab 2 year back, so they have announced for a vacancy in police stations for a like a forensic officer. So we can see such like upgradations of development in our like other state also. Like as per law, like there was a Malimat committee report earlier, and which suggested that every police station should be accompanied by that person having a sound knowledge about forensic science. Because ultimately, like I told you, like police are the first like party which go to a crime scene, so they should be accompanied by a person with a sound forensic knowledge to collect the evidence. Or might be there can be a like victim of a rape or any sexual harassment victim will be there, and they will like visit your police station. So there will be someone like who have a sound knowledge of forensic science, so that they can listen to her like about they can also give mental support, and they can also like collect the evidences.
Yes, sir. So my next question will be, sir, what are the major problems associated with the forensic evidences, like in relation to collecting or producing it in the court?
So major problem is that there is a lot of tampering of evidence, because the problem is that this is the like we don't see such autonomous body like which can do a like in the assume of a investigation. Like we have to wait for our direction of court of law firstly, or maybe a direction from union government or a state government. So like firstly a state government will we can say they will ask for the union government like Minister of Home Affairs, and then they will approve that application, and then they will direct to CBI or any forensic body. Then they will visit that crime scene. And till that time, like we have 3 to 4 days already been passed away, and then firstly we have our police officers, so they don't have sound knowledge. So that time the CFSL team reaches over there, so evidences are tampered. So that is the biggest we can say challenges. Second thing is that we don't have that much infrastructure support, like to trace our evidence, to trace the DNA. Like we take lot of time, but if you compare it to USA or any other countries, so even they can trace a DNA like within 90 minutes. So they have that machinery. So like we don't have such machineries over there. They have a complete units. They have FBI, they have CIA. So they have so many like organization over there, but we don't have such independent organization. We have to rely for a we can say Ministry of Home Affairs and State Home Ministry for any direction. So like forensic science lab and forensic science teams are not in reach of the common people. We have to ultimately go for a court of law to request for a investigation from like forensic team.
So next question will be, sir, how does the forensic evidences impact the criminal justice system, sir?
Can you pardon?
How does forensic evidence impact the criminal justice system in India, sir?
Forensic evidences like it smooths we can say it like pave a roadmap. Like it is very easy for now a court of law, because when we see like when there is a fact-based evidence, so ultimately like it will be easy for the court of law also to give a fair judgment, and because that is coming from science, and then that can be we can say verified. Like whatever is coming from science, so that can be verified. For example, if something is coming from a CFSL report, if you have any doubts, you can have like the court can give a direction for re-examination of that substance or any evidence, or give them to any other like appellate body, like for example from SFL to like CFSL or maybe another body, or like for any independent body, like, they can consider it in. But in terms of oral evidence, how will you verify those things? Like how will you verify the witness statement? So it is how like it helps you like it will then like you have a speedy disposal of cases in forensic science. So that is why it is important for an examination criminal investigation, and because now crimes are also being like committed by use of new technologies. So even for like we have seen the case of Rohini yesterday. So like they have come in the like in the outfit of lawyer. So if we have such thing like we have 3D scanning system over there, so like we can identify such thing. Like we have a strong identification system, we have forensic system. So that would have prevented such thing. For example, when last year when the president of United States, Donald Trump visited our country, so like India has to hire a 3D mapping softwares and 3D mapping like equipments whenever US president someone is coming up. So like we don't have such things in India. India has to outsource such things from other countries, from European countries, to provide a like security system, provide a drone system and other things. So that is how like you can see the importance of forensic science and evidence.
Basically, infrastructure is less also in the
Yeah, because it is highly
community.
expensive. Yeah, but we have to so these are need of our, like we have to spend in such thing, like if we can spend in some other like other irrelevant things, like government are spending so many, governments are spending so much in like corporate events or many other events. So like this is something that is actually need of our, like if we would have a proper security system yesterday in our portal law, so might be possible like we might have prevented that incident.
Yes. We'll move to the next question, sir. What type of reforms need to be done in the criminal proceedings and investigation with respect to forensic evidence, sir?
What type of
Reforms need to be done in the criminal proceedings and investigations in respect of forensic evidence.
Okay, so like for in criminal proceeding, like firstly, like our the MLR report and CFS, the reports that comes from CFSS, so they are primary. They should have a fair, we can say particulars like about like the nature of death and about the reason of death. So like these are some things on which we have to then cross-examine, right? These are, we can say, leading questions in that cases. So and when we see about the reforms, so ultimately our questions like in such cases revolves around such things. And if we need reforms, like firstly we need to have we need to give infrastructure to our legal fraternity, our forensic fraternity, so that we can like find the answer of such thing. We have to train our judges as well. We have to train, firstly we need to train our police personnel how to collect evidence, right? Because normally in like if you see the normal policeman, when we say like a position of a home guard, or maybe any inspector or any other inspector, so like in case of a home guard, so only the qualification is 12th standard, right? So you can't expect a 12th standard policeman to collect evidence with a proper we can say due care. So you have to give them training how to collect an evidence at a crime scene, right? Similarly, like we have to give training to other police officers, like sub inspector level at other level also. Then we have to train our lawyers also, and it should be a duty of bar council of your state, like because when we are a member to it, and we are not governed by the government, we have our bar council to which we follow, and they should organize such events or trainings to we can say train criminal lawyers, and they can invite person for forensic fraternity. And then we need a in upgradation of our state forensic science lab. And we have to when we are upgrading their system, we also have to keep a faith in them. We don't have to unnecessarily go for a CBI investigation. We also have to have faith in state forensic science lab, so that they will also have some work, and they will also that start hiring people. And like though we have so many divisions, if you visit any website of a state forensic science lab, they will like mention like physical division, ballistic division, but when you visit them you won't see such division over there. You will see only the empty rooms over there, like they don't have equipment. And that is why like we have to give all the cases to CBI. So we don't need to burden a single organization. We need to have a faith in like state forensic science lab. And government should start recruiting like police forensic professional at the police station level. So that is very important.
So basically, there is a need of reform in every domain of the like every other things.
Yeah, correct.
Will the forensic expert be punished for submitting of false evidences knowingly or unknowingly by negligent or any other aspects?
Yes. uh, like in for example uh, there is a medical opinion is there, and if medical opinion is found to be incorrect, then doctor can be then liable. They can be their attendance can be mandated by the court of law, and even their license can be cancelled, like it is there in medical council act. Even whenever they like forensic for a forensic investigation also. That is why it is important for a we can suppose it part a criminal lawyer to have a sound knowledge about like the forensic science, so that at least you can question such evidence if they are coming. But who will question this evidence? Who will treat them as false evidence? That someone who should have a knowledge. So for that we need criminal lawyer and also judicial officer who have a sound knowledge about that evidence, that we can say that this is false evidence. This is not that like weapon use, or because we have seen the crime scene, like we know that this is not like that weapon use. We can compare from the like the wound or injury. So that is why yes, there can be there can be then again for false evidence we already have a punishment in IPC also, so the same will be applicable to those things. For medical or expert, if any doctor is giving any false evidence or false medical report, so their license can be cancelled.
Yes. So we'll move to the next question. Sir, what is the eligibility criteria for the forensic expert, sir? Is there any particular eligibility criteria government appoint on the investigation, or it will be lead to the private body?
No, there is no involvement of private body in forensic, so only it is being governed by the at the state level it is governed by the state home ministry, at the union level it is governed by the ministry of home affairs, and we have a directorate of forensic sciences. So eligibility for forensic expert is a like we it he or she should have a degree in forensic science, like there we have a courses in India, BSc forensic science, MSc forensic science, and PhD in forensic science, so that is a scientific degree. So that is a criteria for a forensic expert, and there are examination by staff selection commission at the level of CBI, and then you can give for us. See, there are exam of senior scientific officer, junior scientific officer, and scientific officer at these we can say institution like CBI, like NIA, and like state forensic science. Like even the state government, they have on their examination by their home ministry. So like for recruiting in the state forensic science lab.
Yes. So we move to the which type of forensic evidences is admissible in court of law? Are there any different types of evidences? Are there, sir?
For like all type of forensic evidence are admissible in court of law that are coming up because of science. So like but there is when we have some opinion of any expert, like all the physical evidences are admissible in court of law, but when we have any opinion of a medical expert that is coming from a doctor or any other expert, so that will be then depend upon from case to case basis and at the discretion of court of law. But if they are supplied with a physical evidence, then they are like admissible in court of law. And also like section 293 of CRPC, there is a list of officers. If that is like coming up from those officers, then that is again admissible in court of law.
Is there any landmark judgments relating to the forensic science and forensic law, the Supreme Court of
Yes,
India?
yes, like landmark judgment when we uh, about brain mapping and analysis. So that is Selvi versus State of Karnataka is there, and like I already told you like about State of Kerala versus Kalipattu was there, like about like mandatory like fingerprint is there, like you can mandate someone for self incrimination. So these are meant we can say, and then we have Andy Tiwari case are there. So there are so many cases. If you just do a simple forensic term search in like your Indian Kano or any Manu Pathar or association, like you will see numerous cases are there, and how forensic has helped in we can say finding the real culprit and also quitting the offend like the persons who were innocent who were innocent.
And the next question is like, what role does a lawyer or advocate plays in the field of forensic science? I think you have answered in various other
Yeah,
questions,
yeah.
but if there are any other points which may cover these questions, answer the points.
Yes, many times forensic expert also need opinion of lawyers, right? Because for example, like we have laws, like earlier we have Arms Act, now we have amended that Arms Act also. So many times, even the forensic expert, whenever they prepare a report, they also have to take an opinion from lawyers, from the legal side. For example, in terms of like when the CFSL and officers they are preparing that FSL that report, they also take help advice of Attorney General or Solicitor General for the legal roles. And also like even for a private lab, like a lawyer can give like their knowledge, like whether it will be admissible in court of law or not, what is this all about, like they have to prepare a report in the plain language so that judges can also understand, and they will tell about the sections over there for because they are a science expert, they don't have any knowledge about that science. So that is how lawyers also play an important role in forensic.
Yes. So now we will deal with some questions raised by the participants in the live comment section. Yes. Dhruva, can you please show the questions? Question is by Sanya Kere. Miss Sanya Kere. I am a doctor and also pursuing LLM. Please suggest the career options.
Yeah, so like I can say like the best option available to is can be like a medical legal expert, and second will be in the field of toxicology is there, like because doctors are the first person, like when you see uh, any case coming up in your like hospitals, like you have to prepare a medical legal report. Similarly, we need a lot of medical legal expert, and it can not only help for the forensic expert also, and even there are cases of medical negligence also, like you can make a career in medical negligence also, you can save doctors also, like, and you can also assist patient if there is any breach of duty from the doctor side. And in toxicologist, you can then again make a career in law if there is a case of any poisons and other things, so then you can make a career in such cases also.
Future prospects of cyber forensics in India.
Cyber forensic in India, yeah. Yeah, cyber forensic we already have started like giving importance. Like if we talk about our Indian sector, like cyber forensic will include like combination of the knowledge of our, we can, cyber security and cyber, and then we have law also there. We are because now we are coming up with the data protection policy also in coming days, like we already have that draft passed already, like draft was there in the parliament, and then it was then again withdrawn to and sent to a select committee of parliament, and now select committee have finalized their report, and government has also notified, and they have like given their intention. Now they won't send such bill to again review. Now it is final, so in coming session of parliament we can see our data protection policies there. And so there are future prospects because the government will be appointing, and it will be mandatory for all the technological company, big companies, they have to appoint cyber security officer, cyber lawyer also, like they should have a, like earlier they have a mandated for Twitter and WhatsApp, like they should have a person like office in India, they should have a grievance officer in India mandatory. So there are future perspective cyber forensic in India. So lots of because we are coming up now with data protection policy.
Yes, sir. Um, Basically, we have a great scope in the future.
Yeah.
We'll move to the next question. So the next question is: can we say forensic evidence is also reputable to, as seen in the Sunanda Pushkar and the Sushant Singh Rajput case, due to the corruption? And what is the law for forensic people for giving false report?
Yeah. See, this is a sad state for all of us. Like that is why, like I am also moving for like there should be a knowledge and awareness about forensic science for this side, because whatever is coming from forensic science lab report or maybe a CBI report. So like we have to like, because we can say because we don't have much knowledge about forensic science, the opposite party. So like we have to be like we have to turn that report as a final, and people says that that CBI report is final, and they go for, they have a faith in CBI and other CFSL lab. But many time it happens, like we have seen there were some cases, and uh, we all know that role of CBI is always in question about the political parties, how it is being handled by the parties in power. So the investigations are sometimes maybe political intentions will be there, and sometimes and there is sometimes it is a fault of police personnel also, because they have tempered the judgment, and because there is a temper judgment, like we can say tempered evidence. So then the final report, it is not like as much original, like we can, that should have been there if evidence was not tempered. So yes, and we have seen so many cases for such that, and yes, there is evidence, like we have punishment in like IPC, then for doctors also, like already told you. So there are punishment, and even for forensic, if there is like if you are facing something in court of law for any false like incrimination or other like evidences, so then again you have options. Like firstly, you can go for a false evidence punishment in IPC, and you can then again file for a defamation also.
Yes, sir. So we'll move to the next question. Dhruva, please show the questions. Sir, I think there is some glitch in the. I will read out the question, sir. Sir, please explain the forensic investigation took place in the Sushant Singh Rajput case asked by Subham Singh.
See, Shubham, like forensic investigation already took place in Sushant Singh Rajput case, and as per the CFSL report, It was like not a murder as per the evidences were received as per they have been the crime scene structure, and they have submitted the report to the court of law. And now it is the like our court of law is there, and then there are other like investigating like police officers over there, so they are examining the cases. But CBI CFSL team, they have handed over the report. So as per the crime scene reconstruction they have done, as per the evidences they have found, so they haven't find any such thing that can move for that it's a case of murder. So it is a case of a strangulation, like death due to like hanging. So this is the final report of like FSL. So I can tell you about that, but this matter is up to the court of law. So ultimately, the court of law will decide.
Yes, sir. To the next question. The next question is, what if we provide some evidence in the crime? Does it valid? I think the question is not phrased properly. What type of evidence he is asking is not told about. So, in any general, you would like to comment on this question, sir?
So like yeah, what type of evidence if we see, like we should have a conclusive evidence or a physical evidence should be there, and as like that will be given a primacy as compared to oral evidence. Even if there is eyewitness, so then there will be a primacy given to that eyewitness as compared to someone oral evidence is there. So these evidences are valid, and then we have our evidence act, so which talks about which type of evidences are admissible in court of law.
Yes, sir. We have now finished with all the questions from the participants from the registration form and also in the live chat. And now as we have completed all the questions. Before concluding the session, sir, my last question is to you. So, what is your advice to the students and the youth to grow in this field, or any other advice you would like to give in general, sir?
So for forensic, like if you want to make a career in forensic, or like if you want to go in, we can say in field of criminal litigation, or if you want to practice as a criminal lawyer, then you should go for forensic, and you should learn about forensic science, because now as we are modernizing, so like you can see the criminals are also modernizing. They are also using some new technologies, some new ways to commit crime. And if you will only read about the bookish material, only about the Bayer Acts, only about the knowledge that you read in your law schools, so that is not sufficient to handle such cases. So if you are well aware about such things, about forensic sciences, about the like use of sciences, application of forensic science, about what is a medical legal report, what is a postmortem report. So try to read such reports, try to understand about the medical terms over there, what is a rigor mortis, what is a type of evidence, what is a physical evidence, what is the role of odontology. So ultimately, you will be a good criminal lawyer. And when you come up with a practice area called like criminal investigation expert, like with a forensic science knowledge, you will be always given preference, because there are very rare such lawyers also in the field of we can say criminal law, which has a sound knowledge of criminal forensic sciences. There are some good lawyers which are only doing like which have a sound knowledge. So they have also experience because of their like we can say 10 to 20 years of practice, because they came across so many criminal lawyers. Whenever if you will like try to like with interview or go to someone like who is practicing criminal law from so many years, and you will come to know and try to ask them like how many postmortem reports, how many FSL reports you came across in your career. So they will tell you about the importance of forensic science. Even they will have knowledge about like forensic science, because they are like coming across with such terms. So that is why like it is something that is missing in our legal academic curriculum. So if our law school is not teaching us such thing, but we can do such thing, we can learn from ourselves. Like there is no ample resources available. Like even if you visit our website legaldesign.com/forensic, so there are, I think, hundreds of to hundreds of articles over there that are open access for everyone. You can visit and you can read. Now there are books also. So like you can go and read about such thing in detail. You can visit the website of Ministry of Home Affairs, and you can visit the forensic tab over there. So you will find such things are there. Do for a simple search of a forensic science judgment in your Indian Kanun or Manu Patra CC online, you will know about the importance of forensic science, about DNA, about fingerprint, about digital forensic, cyber forensic. So it is very important. You need to upgrade your knowledge with forensic science if you want to make a career in forensic law. And it is always it has an endless opportunity in forensic, because crimes are increasing day by day. So like we can't expect that crimes to be because Now the way crimes are committed are being modern, so we can see like there is a drop in such type of cases, but then there again there is a rise in cyber frauds and cyber crimes are there. So you can go ahead for such thing, and for a law student it is very important that you should have a networking and try to network with lawyers, try to network with the relevant people in your industry, try to find your niche by the end of your last year, because it is very difficult to find your niche by like maybe second or third year. In your second year to fourth year you should try everything. You don't need to like only limit yourself to one field, because you get an idea about your passion, about your interest area. So you can go and try the field of IPR, try the field of corporate law, try the field of like we can say criminal law. So you will know about your interest area, and then you can make your career in it, and then try to make your CV. For example, if you are if you want to make a career in IPR, then your CV should reflect everything about IPR. And so always give importance to publications and not about the other activities. Like we like in our law school we have lots of activities, like we have mock court competition, we have another type of competitions are there. So but ultimately your publications is given priority. Even in the government job also, whenever there is a promotion from one level to another level, always your promotions are counted. So they are a sole factor for your promotion and your years of experience. Why publication important? Because it tells about your domain authority. Because if we have written an article or maybe a research paper in forensic science or IPR, so the HR of that law firm or that lawyer, so they will have an like idea that you might have spent about 30 days in this subject. So it means you have devoted your time in it. You have a domain authority about this particular subject. So whenever they see your CV, like your CV should reflect your core area about like your interested field, on which area you are applying to. So, yeah.
Thank you for this wonderful advice for all the participants. Like maybe the law student or in other person like lawyer. And it was a wonderful session. And I also believe that participants have enjoyed the session, have gained the knowledge, so they can apply both in academics and the practicing career also. So as we have come up to the end of the session, so now I would like to thank Mr. Anuj sir for giving us the time and imparting us the enormous knowledge upon the forensic science and law. And I would also like to thank my team for making this webinar successful. And I would also like to thank all the participants for participating in the session and having a patience to hear uh, like understanding the everything like in depth. Now in the last, I will also take the vaccine and be safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. As the vaccination camp is going on, we have to take the both the doses of the vaccine. And thank you once again, everyone, and thank you, sir, for imparting the knowledge.
Thank you, Nirmal, and thank you all participants for patient listening, and all the team of Law Gardener. I wish you all the best for your all future endeavors.